Silvio Berlusconi, an Italian media tycoon and billionaire turned prime minister, passed on July 12th at the age of 86. Berlusconi's funeral was in Milan's Gothic Duomo, where thousands of supporters gathered inside the church. During his lifetime, Berlusconi amassed a vast empire and spanned media, real estate, finance, cinema and sport, as well as a powerful political party that is part of Italy's current government. Berlusconi has 2 children from his first marriage and 3 from his second. People close to the family have described Berlusconi as the glue that kept the children united. He was the ultimate populist leader, and unsurprisingly, the party he created was entirely shaped around his persona. Berlusconi stormed into Italian politics in 1994 with an 8-minute video announcing the founding of a new right-wing party, Forza Italia, or Go Italy. His goal was to build a new political movement on the ashes of the post-war First Republic, which had been decimated by a wave of corruption scandals.
Italy's former Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi, the brash and flamboyant billionaire tycoon, became a conservative political icon both at home and abroad for decades, has died. Berlusconi had been suffering from leukemia for some time and recently developed a lung infection. He died at this hospital in Milan on Monday. At 86 years old, Berlusconi was prime minister several times over the 1990s and early 2000s, ending most recently in 2011.
Un saluto affettuoso.
And even though he no longer had a role in government these days, his death is likely to destabilize Italy's political scene. His political party, Forza Italia, is also one of the members of the right-wing coalition that governs Italy. This is the last address of him to the party in May, as he was hospitalized. Berlusconi's name was as recognizable as it was divisive. He was born to a modest family, spent time as a singer on a cruise ship as a young man, and slowly amassed a fortune in real estate that evolved into a business empire. At its peak, it stretched from construction to retail, top soccer and media, even topless game shows. That wealth and media savvy launched him into politics in the 90s, upending the status quo in a manner like another business tycoon, former U.S. President Donald Trump, would years later. But he also had many scandals and critics, including those who said he used his power to protect his own business interests, and that corruption ran rampant during his administrations. He was convicted of serious charges at least 7 times, including bribery, although they were eventually overturned on appeal or expired because too much time had passed for the legal system, known as the statute of limitations. His philandering divorces and sex parties, known as bunga bunga parties, also grabbed worldwide attention, and allegations he had sex with an underage girl. His image somewhat rehabilitated later in life, where he developed a reputation in conservative circles as an elder statesman and moderating force to the more extreme voices on the right. He was one of the biggest characters to come out of Italy's often bizarre politics.
Former Italian Prime Minister. So we extend our condolences certainly to the former Prime Minister's family and friends, and to the government and people of Italy upon his passing. Italy is a long-time friend and ally of the United States, and the Prime Minister worked closely with several U.S. administrations on advancing our bilateral relationship. We stand with the people of Italy today as they mark the passing of their former Prime Minister.
Without a doubt, Silvio Berlusconi was a politician of European. You can even say he was world class. There are very few people like that on the international stage now.
And I'm joined on the broadcast with Francesca Marino, senior journalist, who's joining us when it comes to the legacy of Silvio Berlusconi and its impact on Italian politics. Thank you, Ms. Marino, for joining us on CNN News 18. My first question is that I remember I was in college when the entire bunga bunga scandal had started. And at that point, a lot of my friends from Italy, they kept saying that he is a national embarrassment. That was the sentiment against Silvio Berlusconi. But since then, how has he been able to reframe his image? Currently, his party is in a coalition in the Italian government. How does Italy remember Silvio Berlusconi now?
Frankly, Silvio Berlusconi was a national embarrassment, not so much for his sexual life, which frankly was his private business. Silvio Berlusconi was a national embarrassment because in all the story you quoted and have been quoted in various national and international media, there's a link miss. That link is called mafia. Silvio Berlusconi came to power giving money to mafia. These state funerals, frankly, personally, as a citizen of Italy, are an insult to the memory of Judge Falcone, Judge Borsellino, and the victims of the massacres of 1993. This is how Berlusconi came to power. His name has been found in Falcone's papers. He always refused to answer about his links with mafia. And his close aide, his right hand, has gone to jail, taking all the blame on himself. But this is the real reason why Silvio Berlusconi was a national embarrassment. Then, bunga bunga and all the colorful, and frankly, this is Italy, is not America. So many people thought he was a great man, but all the bunga bunga, yes, underage girls, he has been tried for it, but that was the minimum. That was nothing.
Mm-hmm. Right. So you're saying that he's had a very checkered record as one of the leading politicians of Italy. But my main question is that many people, compare Silvio Berlusconi to Donald Trump. They have the same level of politics. They have the same kind of flamboyant spirit when it comes to playing politics and even taking jibes at their political opponents. But the difference between the two is that as compared to Donald Trump, Silvio Berlusconi was politically very successful. How do you explain that?
Yes, because this is not America. As I said, for us, sexual scandals are not so big deal. Politically, he was successful because unlike Donald Trump, he owned a lot of media channel. He was the one who invented free TVs in Italy. He practically raised up a generation of underculture Italians who mistake for values what he thought were values, money, appearances. Don't even mention the role of women in his TV first and then into his party. In the beginning, there have been so many disgusting stories, you have no idea. I don't want to accuse women because it's too easy, but what he brought into this country was a underdeveloped culture. And of course, that the people that grew up with his brainwashing and his channels make a point in showing TV shows where you are not supposed to think.
Right. So that, in your opinion,
this is why.
Right. So you're saying that has been his lasting impact. So I'll give you the final word, Ms. Marino. I want to get your take on the political impact that Silvio Berlusconi has had, because he's been in public life for 30 years, as you were pointing out, very politically successful. Do you think he is a leader that will be easily forgotten by the current political class, by the current generation of Italy, or do you think that he has changed the nature of Italian society for years to come?
He has changed the nature of Italian society in the sense I said before. His party was a one-man party. Now they will be in deep troubles because because the party was Silvio Berlusconi. Nobody else has his charisma. So, but yes, he changed Italian politics for good. As you said, like Donald Trump, everything revolves around an individual. Before Berlusconi, there was politics, there were parties, there were movements, and there were ideologies.